A lot of people don't have a content strategy, they just have this calendar that they call a strategy. And so in this video, I'm gonna break down the 8 parts to building a content strategy so that you can achieve your goal with your brand. And this is coming from someone who's built a brand to 120,000 followers on Instagram across 2 profiles and got 500 million views on Instagram in less than a year. So I'm just applying those same tactics to my personal brand on YouTube. And so you're watching this in real time, but I'm gonna go over the actual strategy and the tactics that you can use in the framework so that you can apply it to your journey. And so within the 8 parts, the most important foundational thing that we have to identify is the objective. A content strategy starts with knowing what you want your content to accomplish. Before asking, oh, what should I post? You have to ask, what outcome am I trying to create right now? This could be growing awareness, attracting a specific audience, building authority, generating leads, sales, growing an email list. And so this is important because content designed to maximize reach looks very, very different from content designed to attract high-ticket clients. And so we need to identify what the objective actually is so that the rest of the 8 principles or the rest of the 7 principles actually make sense, so we can build on that foundation and anchor back to that goal, because ultimately you have to have the business objective defined, because then it feeds your marketing objective and then your content objective. And so when we have this defined, objective of what we want our content or our personal brand to achieve, we know which direction we need to go in. So number 2 is your audience. And so once you know the objective, you have to define who needs to see that content in order for that objective to happen. This is less about creating like this hyper detailed avatar and more just about attracting that type of person who is your ideal viewer. We're looking at things like what they care about, what problems that they actually have, and what level of awareness they're currently in. For example, a creator trying to sell consulting should probably attract people interested in growing and monetizing a brand rather than people just interested in entertainment, right? It's like you're not literally looking for entertainment views, you're looking to attract that type of person. The who, what type of audience you want to attract with your content, so that it feeds the objective. And so this audience determines which ideas are strategically useful. Which brings us to number 3, which is all about positioning. Positioning is about deciding what you want to be known for in the mind of that audience. And so if someone watches 5 of your videos, what should they associate you with? And this is where your point of view, your differentiation, your perspective comes in. Because 2 creators could talk about the same topic, but they could occupy widely different positions. For example, one creator might teach viral tactics, while the other one becomes known for deeper level strategy. And this is strategy behind like attention, differentiation, or monetization. And so your content should repeatedly reinforce this position that you have. So what you want to be known for in the mind of that audience that you've established. And so number 4 is demand. And so a good strategy already considers what people actually want to watch right now. Because you can have like a perfect audience and perfect positioning, but if your ideas aren't anything that people already want to watch, or if there's no demand to watch those videos, you're going to struggle to actually grow your brand. And so we can look at search behavior, other successful videos in your space, recurring questions, comments, your competitors, your own analytics, all of this stuff that gives you a better understanding for what demand exists around other topics or topics that you've already discussed or you're researching, so that you can align your strategy to that steady stream of people or that steady stream of demand that already exists. And that's why in business, people always say, go where money is already exchanging hands, and it's the same concept. You want to go where eyeballs are already looking. And so the goal here is to find the overlap between what people already care about and what you are uniquely qualified to talk about. Which brings us to number 5, which is content functions. And so not every piece of content is made to do the same job. There are some pieces of content that attract a new audience and bring them into your world. Some that qualify or filter them. And then some are for ready people, ready to take action into your offer and exchange money and literally give you money for the thing that you talk about. There are other ones that build trust and authority, and we could go on and on about different content jobs. And so instead of judging every single piece of content by views, you need to understand that different content serves different success metrics, right? Like they literally have different success metrics within what you're talking about. This attract piece, yeah, sure, views and subscribers matter a lot. But if we're going down funnel, and so case studies and proof are gonna be widely different success metrics. We're gonna be measuring by sort of qualified leads and sales. Like how many sales did these, this type of content generate? So we can't measure the success on these functions with this by the same metric of views. It just doesn't make sense. And so that's why content functions exist. And so we have to define the function that each content type plays within the broader strategy, which leads us to number 6, which is distribution. Distribution is about designing where each type of content should live and how the platforms work together. Instagram is for proximity, and then YouTube is for deeper authority and trust. And so knowing that, we can design the distribution in a way that enhances those platforms and works to our favor. And so we have YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, email, right? Like we have so many different distribution channels here, and they all have different strengths and different weaknesses. And so YouTube might be for depth and discovery, Instagram's for sort of repeated exposure, and then email gives you that sort of nurturing and converting. And so a content strategy should therefore think beyond the individual post and ask how attention moves across the broader ecosystem. Which brings us to number 7, which is the feedback loops. A strategy needs a way to tell you whether your assumptions are actually working. This is about tracking the metrics that correspond to the objective that we established in level 1. And so we have views and impressions for reach. We have click-through rate for packaging, retention for content quality, subscribers for audience fit, and then leads or sales for commercial performance. And so you use all of this feedback to refine your topics, your thumbnails, your titles, your formats, your positioning. And so your strategy is not something that you create once. It is something that is refined over time as you collect more evidence of things that are working or not working. And then lastly, number 8, arguably the most important, which is the constraints/trade-offs. Strategy requires you deciding deliberately what not to do. You have limited time, energy, and resources. And so like when you're trying to grow or optimize every single platform across different formats, and it just gets so overwhelming that none of them actually succeed. And so, and otherwise, if you have the resources and energy and the money to be able to make all the platforms work at scale, then go right ahead and do that. But if you don't have the resources and you're sort of coming at this solo, like most of us are, then you need to understand and focus on one singular platform. And so if YouTube is your primary growth channel, you may deliberately not post anything on Instagram for a little while, or you might just like not take it as serious, or it's sort of what like I'm doing right now. Like I'm sort of backing off Instagram a little bit so that I can go all in on YouTube and put all of my time and attention and resources to making this platform actually work so that I can achieve the objective or goal that I've designed for myself using this exact strategy. And so the real strategy is deciding where you're gonna place your limited resources so that you can achieve the highest return on your effort. That's exactly what I'm doing, and that's what this is real time. Like everything that I'm doing right now is real time. Like the strategy and the tactics that I'm using within this video and my brand and my channel, I literally just wrote out right now. It's the 8-step process. Like this is just the window, completely transparent. It's the window into how I think and how I operate and how I design this stuff. And that's how I got 500 million views on Instagram in less than a year and grown over 100,000 followers. Like that. This is the type of stuff that works, and this is how I like to think about it so that we can be differentiated while everyone else sounds the same using AI. I created a school community to talk about all of this stuff, and I want to get more people in there. It's literally just me and my brother right now. So I just launched it. I don't think it's live yet. It should be live when I publish this video. So yeah, hopefully this was a helpful one, guys. I will talk to you hopefully in the school community. I'll have a breakdown of this in there so you can download it and actually use it, and as well as the Feynman technique, which is like one of the ways that I ideate different ideas and being able to talk about them on camera and be a little bit more confident in my depth of understanding. So hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.